right, here we go. Juvenile justice process. So some refer the process are referred to juvenile court. They don't get diversion. They don't get the wake up program. They don't get time served by arrest or anything like that. And they actually will get referred to juvenile court. Some of the majority of them go back to the parents or the guardians. Some are remanded to the custodial care. The judge is active in all the process. There's a delinquency petition that allows for juveniles to change jurisdiction over the case. And I think we already talked about that in some aspects. Okay, so I think we're crossing over a little bit here and there, but that's okay. All right, this is a wake-up program at the Modesto Police Department where kids get in trouble, and you don't want them to get in trouble anymore, so you want to make sure that, they learn something from their ability to not make good decisions. And I gotta hold on. So the reason they have programs such as this, because you don't want kids to become juvenile delinquents. You don't want them to start going through the system because they're able to tell their brains, oh, it's not that bad. It ain't no big thing, right? So they're cool to all their friends that they're trying to impress, because I guarantee all the juvenile delinquency kids aren't hanging out with the AP students, the smart students, the ones that are on track to do something good, right? So they also have youth court, where sometimes the youth court is determined by a group of neighbors that allow them to go out and be a part of the neighborhood community there, and the neighbors are the ones that decide their outcome, which is kind of interesting because my mom did that. So if all the neighborhood kids got in trouble, they would come to the board, and they would sit on the board, and they would determine what would happen to them. Okay, adjudication. The judge is the one that renders the decision. If any type of adjudication has to be done in reasonable doubt. If it's adjudicated as a delinquent, that's great. Distinguishes the difference between how cases are handled compared to adult courts, because the judge handles everything, right? 55% or more of the cases are adjudicated because they don't want the kids to be in juvenile hall learning from bad other kids, okay? So if adjudicated, the court holds a disposition hearing, determines the plan of action. So if they're not going to get any time inside juvenile hall, they'll have some type of program that they hopefully can learn from and don't come back into the system. Sometimes they are given a word of the court because mom and dad are worse than anything on this planet. They shouldn't be with mom and dad, or mom and dad may be the suspects in the case, doing bad harm to the children then in turn act out on other children, and you got this vicious cycle, okay? Okay, so what I want you to do here is copy and paste this website down here into your web browser. And from that website there, tell me what you think of this person receiving a 130-year sentence for this juvenile offender. Again, there's no right or wrong, right? You tell me what you think inside this brain. Should we do more of this type of harsh punishment? All right, here is some just wording that the difference between a petition is like if somebody's arrested, they petition the court, and in an adult court, they charge a case, and you can kind of read there what happens in juvenile court and what happens into adult court. All right, so juvenile sentencing. There's a super predator myth that led to sentences for youth such as life without parole for offenders. They're looking at all those cases now because did the juvenile actually know what was happening at the time? So Linnell Tate, he was 12 years old, 12, already killing somebody, 12 years old. Killed a 6-year-old, Tiffany Unick, right? Sentenced to life without parole. In 2004, his conviction was overturned on ground that his mental competency to be tried as an adult has never been tested. So now they're going to try him as an adult. We'll see what happens. All right, so I want you to watch this video on boot camps. Pros or cons? Tell me one thing that's happened at a juvenile delinquents boot camp. There's bad juju that happens out there. Sometimes they try to overkill with the kids, literally kill the kids at boot camp. So for a part of this assignment, find something bad that's happened at boot camp. Group homes, tell me if you're pro or con as a group home and why or why not. And the aftercare programs or something like Wake Up that I talked about earlier. Okay. The death penalty for kids, juvenile sentenced to death and executed. not happening in our country, right? Everybody's life in prison. 31 jurisdictions prohibits the death penalty for juveniles. 19 states set a minimum age at 18. 12 states prohibited the practice for all juveniles, okay? So, don't know too many juveniles who were charged with the death penalty. Here's the death penalty when it started for juveniles. And let's see. This website I want you to go to, let me just take a look at it here for those who love to wonder what it is. So when you see it, then you can kind of already know what's happening in your world. So I'll put it in there. It's going to get really big here. And, oh, what happened? Nothing happened. Well, forget that one then. I'm going to take that one out right now. So then you won't have to worry about it. Whoa, what happened here? Whoa, that was crazy. Flipped over to a different PowerPoint that I'm working on. Okay, so we talked about the death penalty, right? And, oh, that's what I was going to do. I was going to have you guys look up this doohickey. This doesn't work, so we're going to get rid of that. You don't have to worry about that. That's what happened there. Okay. So there are some death penalty cases. They began to consider other sentences because the death penalty was seen as cruel and unusual. So there you have it. That's what you learned this week. All right, you guys are almost done with this crazy pandemic stuff. Cannot wait to get back in the classroom. Love the classroom. Love the classroom. Trying to hang on. Hanging on like you guys are. You guys can do it. Talk to you later. Bye.